Imagine a quiet, unassuming street in Victorian London, where gas lamps cast long shadows and secrets lurk behind every lace curtain. It's 1882, and the air is thick, not just with fog, but with an unspoken tension. A chilling premonition of a crime that would shock the nation and etch itself into the dark annals of history. Today, we delve into the tragic and perplexing case of Louisa Jane Taylor, a woman whose name became synonymous with the chilling term, the Plumstead Poisoner. Before we unravel this intricate web of deceit and death, remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of the Calendar of Crime. Our story begins in Plumstead, a bustling district in southeast London. Louisa Jane Taylor, a 36-year-old widow, found herself in dire straits after the death of her husband in March 1882. Seeking lodgings and a means to support herself, she moved in with the elderly couple, William and Mary Ann Tregellis. Mary Ann, at 82 years old, was frail and increasingly dependent, making her a vulnerable target. Initially, the arrangement seemed amicable. Louisa was to provide care for Mrs. Tregellis in exchange for board. However, beneath the veneer of domestic harmony, a sinister plot began to brew. Financial desperation, some speculate, was the driving force behind Louisa's actions. It's believed she saw an opportunity to gain from Mrs. Tregellis's demise, perhaps through inheritance, or by simply ridding herself of an obligation. The health of Mary Ann Tregellis began to rapidly decline. Her symptoms were vague at first, easily dismissed as the natural ailments of old age: weakness, stomach pains, and a general malaise. But as days turned into weeks, the pattern became disturbingly clear. Mrs. Tregellis was not just ill, she was being systematically poisoned. The poison of choice? A lead compound, likely lead acetate, a substance readily available at the time and difficult to detect without careful analysis. The method was insidious. Louisa would administer small, almost imperceptible doses of the poison, often mixed into Mrs. Tregellis's food or drink. This slow, agonizing process mimicked natural illness, allowing Louisa to operate under the guise of a caring nurse, all while slowly extinguishing the life of her charge. The gradual onset of symptoms made it challenging for anyone to suspect foul play immediately. As Mrs. Tregellis's condition worsened, suspicions began to mount, particularly from concerned neighbors and relatives who observed Louisa's peculiar behavior and the rapid decline of the elderly woman. The turning point came when a doctor, called to attend to Mrs. Tregellis, noted the unusual and persistent nature of her symptoms, which did not align with typical geriatric ailments. He ordered a post-mortem examination, a decision that would unravel Louisa's dark secret. The post-mortem examination, conducted with meticulous care, revealed the grim truth. Traces of lead were found in Mrs. Tregellis's organs, confirming that she had indeed been poisoned. The evidence was damning, pointing directly to Louisa Jane Taylor, who was the sole caregiver and had unrestricted access to the victim's food and medicine. The trial of Louisa Jane Taylor commenced on December 15, 1882, at the Central Criminal Court in London, presided over by Judge Stevens. The courtroom was packed, the public eager to witness the proceedings of such a sensational case. The prosecution painted a vivid picture of a cold, calculating killer driven by greed, systematically poisoning an innocent elderly woman. Louisa, maintaining her innocence, presented a defense that struggled to counter the overwhelming scientific and circumstantial evidence. Despite her pleas, the jury deliberated and returned a verdict of willful murder. Louisa Jane Taylor was found guilty. The sentence was swift and absolute: death by hanging. On January 2, 1883, at the age of 37, Louisa Jane Taylor met her end at Maidstone Prison, becoming one of the last women to be publicly executed in Britain. Her case served as a stark reminder of the hidden dangers that could lurk within seemingly ordinary homes. The case of Louisa Jane Taylor remains a chilling example of a poisoner operating under the cloak of domesticity. While her motive is largely attributed to financial gain, the psychological aspects of such a crime, the slow, deliberate act of taking a life, continue to fascinate and horrify. It highlights the vulnerability of the elderly and the insidious nature of certain crimes that leave few outward signs. What are your thoughts on the case of Louisa Jane Taylor? Do you believe justice was served, or were there unanswered questions? Share your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime for Louisa Jane Taylor.